Oh, that was beautiful. Sherryn, I left the house with the kids, the car, and the cat, and $50.
Yeah.
That is a book title right there. The kids, the car, and the cat. I love it. Oh my Lord. Wow. So good. The other thing that really resonated with me was where you talked about self-care and how as women we so often forget that part. And you even said, I'd forgotten how to dream.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like if you just like allow that to kind of resonate, and it's so, I think we underestimate how important hopes and dreams are, and how when you're in, a dark place, or you've put yourself so far down the list of priorities, that when life presents an opportunity for you to reconnect with self, something as simple as a manicure, or actually like standing in the shower, just to let the hot water fall over you, not because you need to be clean, but because you just want to luxuriate in it, like, and for a mum as well, like peeing by yourself uninterrupted, like it's like luxury. So, and I just think that's such a powerful realization around, how important it is to breathe.
I think us women just become, we stay in survival mode for so long because our day, we're always busy, just everything's busy. And it's not until we get older that we appreciate a different part of our life, because things start to settle down and calm, and we've created beautiful little adults and whatnot. So it's extremely important. And for me, it wasn't until I went to a Simnia event where we were doing vision boards. And we had to cut out all these pictures and words and whatnot out of a magazine. And I sat there, and then for about 30 minutes, and then I just started crying. And one of the ladies said to me, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know how to dream. What do I put on this board? I've already got everything. I've got my 3 healthy, beautiful children. I don't want the fancy cars. I've had that. I don't want the fancy house. I've had that. I don't want the big holiday. I've had that. It was really, really hard. And all I wanted was just inner hope and peace. And I didn't know how to put that physically onto a board. So, yeah, it was interesting. I did learn to dream again.
Beautiful. Wow. And I think when you, and Trish sort of mentioned this in her conversation as well, there's 2 things, the Soroptimist women giving her a manicure and the hand cream, and restoring her humanity, and actually reminding her that she's not just a prisoner, she's more than that. She's a human, and she's a woman, and she's valued, and she's beautiful. And with what you just said there about figuring out how to dream again, like when you have gone through the kind of adversity that you've gone through, material things don't matter. All of a sudden where value actually lies is not inside of the stuff. It's inside of, people and connection and community and legacy, and self-worth, and creating and connecting with people. It's the real stuff. It's the soul stuff.
Yeah. I think what resonated with me, Sherryn, is your transition where you decided that you would reach out to people and ask for help, which you had not wanted to do before. You had hidden, you thought you needed to hide what had been going on, which is just so isolating, and that you had the courage and, to attempt to trust people. And I can you help me? And people helped you. That there is help out there. And if for anybody listening, you might feel like, I can't ask, I've got to do this on my own, or they might reject me or something like that. Well, it's a risk you take, but people are so much better than what we think they are. And there will be people out there who will help you when you ask for help or they can point you to where the help is. And if at first they don't know or they can't help, won't be everybody. Not everybody can handle what you're asking, and you've got to give them the grace to not be able to bear it. But there will be people that you can find that will help. And so I take my hat off to you, because that must have been a real shift in mentality, to being willing to let people help you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I also really loved what Chris said about when you ask someone for help, it's actually a gift for that person to be able to do that for you. There's this beautiful exchange of human spirit that happens. And, you know, when we bury our pride and we ask for help, we actually give other human beings the opportunity to demonstrate their humanity and their care and their love. Yeah. And it's such a beautiful, it really genuinely is a gift. Yeah, that really resonated with me too.
And I have some Grace hand cream that I'll be gifting all of you, you know, so that we can actually do some of that care and love. But I think, you know, during this COVID time, despite the social isolation and restrictions, which has impacted on people in so many ways, my sort of experience is it's brought more people globally together in this sense of solidarity, you know, that we will get through this, that we can reach out and we can share, you know, how we're feeling. It allows us to be vulnerable. It allows us to sort of trust ourselves and trust how we're feeling enough to tell other people too. And if you aren't able to do something, then no is actually like a good word. And some of that is about saying no to yourself as well as no to other people. And, you know, I think we're learning a lot more that, you know, I pick up on Shaz's view around her dreams. You know, I went on a retreat several years ago when I was in a pretty dark space, and the person who was organising it, you know, has one-on-ones with you to find out what is it that you're really up there to do, and, you know, what do you want to get out of it. And it was just like, all I want is more inner peace within myself. Nothing more than that. I just want to be more peaceful as a person. I don't want to have any more angry thoughts. I don't want to have my thoughts, you know, and Trish really resonated with a lot of those, the little stinking thinking that goes on inside your own mind. But it was just like, you know, I want to be happy. I've got everything I need in life and plenty to give back to others. And when you do find that inner peace, just happy to be yourself, that's one of the richest things that you can have. And then if you permeate that peace with other people who like to be around you, you know, if they have this sense of, you know, coming into an inner circle where they're safe, they're respected, they're trusted, and we can just be ourselves. You know, that's what I love about these sort of conversations too, because we don't get a chance to have this kind of conversation if we're at a function or a meeting, but we can all kind of, you know, sit in front of our little screens and feel like we're really having some very deep and meaningful conversations with each other, which we are. And I, you know, this is what we're trying to demonstrate through our interviews during Mental Health Week and beyond that point in time, is that you can really reach out no matter where you are, near or far, and, you know, look each other in the face and look at all the expressions and, you know, unmute yourself or hide behind the camera if you don't want everybody seeing, you know, like, oh, is this really the kind of thing I want to see? And it's like, yeah, it is actually, me and the cockatoos, that's all good. But, you know, there's a lot of value in this, and it's because each of you give up time when you could be doing all sorts of other things to just share because you care. And it's what we give back to other people that I think is the strength of our Sydney Club. You know, we absolutely are just so giving naturally. It's not something that you buy a ticket that you suddenly, you know, give this or give something else. It's the fact that, you know, as we've gone out there and introduced more women into our club, and we've got members that live around the world too, it's a sense of self, a sense of space, you know, a sense of worth and a sense of purpose. You know, that as we share our story, there's other women that we're also standing up with and saying, you know, this is how you can use your voice. I saw that little Trish is starting to Well, no, you've done well. But listen,
We are almost, yeah.
thank you. You know, we've gone over time tonight
Nice.
to what we
Perfect.
did, but sometimes the conversations are so rich,
Yes.
and you just, you know, yeah, it's just beautiful. And I know when we pull this together, you know, there's so many different ways we can share it. And I just love you all because you trust me enough to do some of the extreme things that I put to our club that is not necessarily, you know, everyone's cup of tea, but you will come because you see that, yeah, there's a purpose in this, and there are other blessings that come out of being a part of it that you don't even know. And I know, Trish, when the other Soroptimist members in our region, and particularly Brisbane Club, and particularly Tony Baker, hear her name mentioned, that is an absolute heart melt moment. You know, it's just that giving back, and sometimes it is the words we choose to use in how we express that. So we're blessed that she's been doing all the work inside for you to have experienced that, and then to come home and just reach out and say, I just want to say a thank you. And it's like, well, come and meet some of us. And then it's like, oh, okay, that's sort of, you're a little bit different, and you've had a chance to actually meet Soroptimists around the world. So, you know, it's been another level of what, you know, is there. And
Oh, Chris, it's amazing the world that it has opened up. I mean, who would have thought that a few years later I'd be speaking overseas and catching up with Soroptimist clubs over there? That's the sort of organisation that we have. You know, when people join Soroptimist, they're joining people.
Global.
Just it's global, and you know, you've got all the different personalities in every club, just like anywhere else.
Yep.
But there's a vision that ties people together, and it's just amazing. I mean, overseas and everywhere else, it's that sense of belonging, even though individually we have different interests and different priorities, that people need to belong to a community, you know, and we're in different types of tribes in different places, but Soroptimist is really worthwhile if, you know, if you're a woman and you want to make some friends and do some things and have a greater interest in life.
And be part of a movement that's been around for over 100 years, or, you know, 100 years next year. And that's about empowering women and girls, not just for the last 100 years, but for the next 100.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think you kind of jumped right in there, as you said. It's like, yeah, about a year ago, next month, I think. And you had a bit of a catapult of that international flavour, which was great. But, you know, you're still sitting here and being our techie guru, which makes me go, yeah. And the rest of us are just playing catch up, you know, but it's all good. And, you know, I think it's the spirit of Soroptimism is what you're all feeling, you know, and that's a real bond. The fact that, you know, when you do travel through connections, you can do that homestay stuff as well, you know, and you have these kind of comfortable conversations because you're all, you know, members with a similar belief. We don't have any room in our club for egos, but we do a lot in spirit together. You know, people with egos don't last because it's not a place that feeds the ego. But what it does do, it absolutely feeds and fills the soul, the heart, and the spirit within all of us. And when you find that connection, it's just limitless, you know, what we can do together. So another beautiful night of conversations. We will
Gorgeous
get
note to end on that one.
Fiona, Chelsea, and Lakeisha, and also Marnie, and I'll see if Marnie and Kat are available next week, because Marnie's got a very interesting story as to how she became a kinesiologist and natural therapist, and Kat's got her own story in regard to persevering with some significant mental health issues this time last year, trying to finish off the last assignment for her 5-year veterinary course. But she's also going to share a bit about the stress within the veterinary world, not just in the treatment of animals and all the rest of it, but how people actually treat them. And they have very high suicide rates as a profession, which is pretty horrific. So we've still got some beautiful stories to emerge out of a few more of the members here. So I just thank the three of you for, you know, giving up a little of your Tuesday night and getting to know each other and trusting me enough with the process and Fee with the technical capacity there to sort of want to be a part of it. So big hugs on behalf of yours. Yeah.
Lovely to be
Right back at you, Chris.
Thank you.